Hello student, myself Mrs. V.R. Lohar, working as a teacher in the at the Vidya Mandir Junior College Islampur. So today we are going to study the another topic from the syllabus, and that is green chemistry and nanochemistry. Why do we need the study of green chemistry? We In different topics, we have studied that chemistry is a very prominent part of our daily lives. Chemical developments also bring new environmental problems, harmful, unexpected side effects, which result in the need for greener chemical products. So, in this topic, first we are going to study about detail about the green chemistry, and after that we will proceed for the nanochemistry. So first of all we have to study the definition of the green chemistry. So green chemistry, it is the use of chemistry for the prevention of pollution by environmentally conscious design of products, as well as the processes that reduces or eliminate the use of generation of hazardous substances. So green chemistry means it is use of chemistry for the development of eco-friendly products, that is no waste generation or elimination of generation of hazardous substances. So in simple language, the use of chemistry to minimize the pollution, different types of pollution. We all know there are different types of pollutions, and different types of chemicals are responsible for this environmental pollution. So use of chemistry for the eco-friendly or the environmentally safe products. So in this green chemistry, or this green chemistry is related with the sustainable development. Why? Because the green chemistry plays an important role in the sustainable development. So now we have to study what is the meaning of sustainable development, or what is the sustainable development. So it is the development that meets the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. So this sustainable development, it helps to protect the environment and the natural resources. The sustainable development, सस्टेनेबलचा अर्थ जर बघितला तर शाश्वत किंवा टिकाऊ असा आहे. So why we have to study this sustainable development? We all know that everyone wants development, but it should be sustainable. That is, there should not be any degradation of natural resources and environment, or no any development of pollution. That is called sustainable development. Why it is necessary? Because natural resources are acting as life supporting system for us, for all the living beings. So it should be protected. There should not be depletion of quality of natural resources. We all know that the natural resources, or the percentage or amount of natural resources in the environment is limited. So we should maintain the quality of natural resources for our development. So how this sustainable development can be achieved? So this sustainable development can be achieved by following or by adopting the 12 principles of green chemistry. So here we have to study the principles of green chemistry. So out of these 12 principles, the first principle of the green chemistry is the prevention of waste or the byproducts. So here if you observe, there should be zero waste generation or development of byproduct during chemical synthesis. If it is there, it can be reused again as a raw material. Till now, we have studied different types of chemical reactions in which there is a formation of uh, one or more than one byproducts. So these byproducts or these waste materials are responsible for different types of environmental pollution. So these waste or the byproducts which are formed during chemical reaction, they can be reused again as a raw material. For example, the bottom ash of the thermal power station can be used as a raw material for the cement and brick industry. याचाच अर्थ काय की कुठल्याही केमिकल रिएक्शन मध्ये एखादा प्रॉडक्ट तयार होत असताना जर काही बाय प्रोडक्ट तयार होत असतील तर त्याचा आपण एखाद्या चांगल्या गोष्टीसाठी त्याचा पुन्हा वापर करू शकतो. सो इट इज related with that is there should be prevention of waste or byproducts. Then second one is atom economy. Atom economy is nothing but most of the atoms of the reactants are incorporated in the desired products and no waste will be generated. Means during a chemical synthesis or during a formation of a product, all the reactants should react with each other. That means all the constituent atoms of all the reactants should get combined to form a single or the desired product. There should not be any formation of byproduct. So here different types of rearrangement reactions show such type of formation of the desired products. The simple example is the formation of cyclohexene, which takes place from the two chemicals or two reactants, namely 1,3-butadiene and ethene. So both these reactants react with each other to form a single product, that is cyclohexene, and there is no formation of any waste or the byproducts. So this is the atom economy. Then third principle of green chemistry is the less hazardous chemical synthesis. So chemical synthesis or the chemical processes should be safe and there should not be formation of hazardous waste from the chemical processes. So here the chemical synthesis or the chemical reaction should take place in such a way that there should not be formation of any waste which is hazardous in nature or which is toxic in nature. So here the simple example is that of formation of DDT, which is used as or which was used as an insecticide and which was effective in controlling different types of diseases, namely like typhoid and malaria. But nowadays, instead of DDT, benzene hexachloride is used as insecticide because it was observed that the DDT, that is dichlorodiphenyl trichloroethane, is harmful to all living things. So this insecticide is replaced by the benzene hexachloride, that is BHC, and it is one of the isomer of one of the gamma isomer that of BHC is used as the insecticide instead of the DDT. So always keep in mind that we should synthesize the chemicals which are less hazardous in nature. Then next principle is designing safer chemicals, which states that there should be development of less toxic products with less toxic material. So here the chemical products should be designed to effect their desired function while minimizing their toxicity. So here the simple example is that of adipic acid, which is used in the polymer chemistry. So the starting material of this adipic acid is benzene, and we all know that benzene is carcinogenic in nature and it is a volatile solvent which pollutes the air. So in order to minimize such type of pollution, we have to use the safer chemicals for the formation of adipic acid. So here adipic acid is enzymatically synthesized from glucose, which avoids the use of benzene, which is carcinogenic in nature. Then next principle is that use safer solvent and auxiliaries. So here there should be selection of safer solvent and minimize the use of total amount of solvent and auxiliary substances to avoid the large percentage of waste created. So here we in different types of reaction, different types of solvent and auxiliary substances are used. So here auxiliary substances are nothing but these are again solvent or separation agents or dispersing agent that are used in the course of chemical synthesis. We all know that water is a universal solvent. Along with water, different organic solvents are used in different chemical reactions. Dichloromethane is one of the organic solvent which is used in different types of chemical processes or synthesis. But if we compare water and this dichloromethane is hazardous in nature. So the chemical synthesis in which dichloromethane is used or is going to be used should be avoided because it is responsible for different types of pollution. So depending upon the need of chemical synthesis, we have to use the safer solvent and different types of auxiliaries. Then the last principle is the design for energy efficiency. So which states that minimize the use of energy for chemical synthesis. So here we have to carry the chemical reactions at room temperature and pressure by using proper catalyst. So number of chemical reactions are carried out at high temperature as well as high pressure. So we have to minimize the energy requirements of chemical processes. So these reactions should be carried out at the room temperature as well as pressure by using proper catalyst. Also different types of microorganisms for the organic synthesis and using renewable materials. So these are the first 6 principles of green chemistry. Remaining 6 principles of the green chemistry we will study in the next lecture. Thank you.